Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a return to subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Well, guys, today meant the start of the Sade Robinson murder trial. And we all remember this story. I've been covering this extensively. I was personally supposed to go down there and cover this story personally from the courtroom, but I got things going on and I couldn't do it because of financial issues. But my heart and prayer is with the family and those that, Miss Robinson, meant a lot to. Now, if you guys remember with this case, this dude right here, Maxwell Anderson, this animal in his 30s, supposedly asked her to go out on a date, all the while planning on killing her, which he did, and dismembering her body and spreading it all over Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shout out Milwaukee, by the way. They started jury selection today. And they're saying it may run into tomorrow. But either way, hopefully she'll get the justice he deserves. They're going to be showing this trial live on news centers out there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in case anybody's interested. I'll be out there working tomorrow, doing my route, but I'll be paying close attention. This will be one of the stories, the main stories we'll be following in the coming weeks as this trial progresses. Without further ado, let me just jump up and show you what they got so far, and I'll come back with brief commentary.
More than a year after a Milwaukee woman was killed and dismembered, the trial for the man accused of the gruesome crime will officially begin today when jury selection begins at 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, Maxwell Anderson is charged with killing 19-year-old Sade Robinson after a first date. Anderson is facing charges that include first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson.
Well, let's go back and take a look at the timeline of events since Robinson's death. She was last seen on April 1st of 2024. Then on April 2nd, authorities found the first of several remains belonging to Robinson, a severed leg in Warnemont Park. That same day and 11 miles away, family members say Robinson's car was found burned out near 30th and Lisbon on Milwaukee's north side.
And 2 days later, Maxwell Anderson was taken into custody on April 4th as a person of interest to a severed leg found in Cudahy. On April 12th, Anderson is charged with first-degree homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson. Prosecutors allege that he killed Robinson following a first date. That same day, law enforcement officially declared Robinson dead. 6 days later, on the morning of April 18th, is someone walking along the beach along Lake Michigan in South Milwaukee found Robinson's torso and arm.
On April 22nd, Anderson is back in a Milwaukee County courtroom where he enters a plea of not guilty to intentional homicide, mutilation, and arson, and then waives his right to a preliminary hearing. The next month, another one of Robinson's body parts is found, this time on a beach in Waukegan, Illinois. And then fast forward to June of 2024, Robinson's family files a civil lawsuit against Anderson asking for damages as well as all proceeds from the sale of his home.
Anderson's trial was originally set to start last December, but a week ago, before it could start, the trial was delayed so that Anderson's defense team could have an expert review data from Anderson's phone, which he claims contains an alibi. So that brings us all to today and the start of the trial. So joining us this morning and throughout the length of the trial, Maxwell Anderson is attorney Jillian Schleidiger with jury. So thank you for joining us first and foremost this morning. So with jury selection beginning today, how does that whole process work, and what are some of the questions that both sides will ask to select the jurors?
So probably about a month or so ago, potential jurors from Milwaukee County would have been sent a summons in the mail. They didn't know what they were being called in for in terms of jury duty. They're all going to report in today. I expect there will likely be a much larger jury pool than we typically see for the average criminal or even civil case. And I think the focus certainly is going to be the pretrial publicity coverage, is trying to find jurors who live in Milwaukee County who haven't heard a ton about this case so far, or at least if they have they formed an opinion or bring to court with any biases that they may have.
How difficult is that going to be? I mean, there is so much publicity on this case. Is this something where we might see them ask for a change of venue, or?
I think at this point in the case, no, it would be too late to do something like that. I think the reality is statewide, even nationwide, the coverage has been pretty widespread on this case. So I think for both parties at this point, they're going to have to kind of embrace the fact that this publicity is out there and that they really need to try and find people who, while acknowledging they've heard about this case, that they haven't maybe formed their opinion or have a bias, or at least at minimum that they can listen to the law that the judge provides them and follow those instructions.
Yeah, with the larger jury pool, how long or lengthy of a process will this be going forward for them to select those jurors?
It's certainly hard to say. I would think it wouldn't be shocking for it to go into a second day. In Wisconsin, you hear out of state these cases that take weeks long for jury selection. I don't anticipate it to be something like that.
We're going to get into this over the trial here, but what do you think the key evidence is going to be? We mentioned there when we were setting this up that there is the cell phone evidence, there's video evidence, there's more than, I think, 100, almost 200 witnesses in this case.
I think, the summary that you all presented in advance, the timeline is going to be very important here. I think there's been a lot of information that has been shared and widespread throughout the media. I think as a whole, we know a lot about this case, but I also think there's a lot of information that we're going to hear for the first time in court. So I think you're going to hear a lot of electronic evidence. I think you're going to hear from various experts and certainly all of these kind of bystander witnesses who saw certain things throughout the case.
And possibly what, if any, evidence they found in his house, because we don't know really what they found in there.
Yeah, this is going to be a case that we continue to cover, a very lengthy case as well, and something, once again, that we will stay on top of. Thank you once again for joining us early this morning. We appreciate your expertise.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early once again. You can count on TMJ4 to bring full coverage on air and online. We plan to bring, as we just mentioned, legal analysis each day here with Jillian on TMJ4 News Today.
As you've seen it, they're doing jury selection. As of now, don't know if they're done today. And it might run into tomorrow. And the lady was talking and giving her assessment of it. And she said the people are looking for jurors who haven't really heard of the case, even though it's been plastered all over Milwaukee, nationwide and internationally, that don't have an opinion on the case. So what does that mean exactly? Seriously, how can you hear about a child, a girl, dating a guy who instinctively was a predator and preyed on her, a vicious killer, used his kindness to lure her in, dismember her, and scatter her body all over Milwaukee like a horror movie? How are you not opinionated after hearing about that? They were talking about, they could have got somebody from another area to listen. I'm going to be honest with you. After seeing that Tyree Nichols bullshit trial and how they did him, I would stop that, because it ain't fair. Wherever that you commit a crime at, they hold you responsible in that city. How come the city can't be the one to be the jury? That's a tactic that is like foul, but that goes to show you what I was saying about the justice system. Court and trial is not for the victim or the victim's family. It's not. It's one big playwright and the best actors or the most convincing actors, be it the DA or the defense lawyers, win. Something got to be done about that. It's no way this child is gone and this guy has a right to a hearing and has some say through his defense attorney of what's fair and what's not. And this happens every day in America. This guy right here, over here, is vile. And he did some vile shit. And he needs a vile punishment. I've covered this story extensively. And just seeing the pain in the family's face. People finding articles of her clothing. Guy burned the car up. He went all out of his way not to get caught. And a lot of you guys don't remember, there was a white girl, I think she was, that he tried to get first. And she got away and talked about it after she saw his face on the news with Sade Robinson. I wonder if she gonna be one of them witnesses, because they said they got 200 witnesses. So I wonder if she's one of them. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to go down there and get in the courtroom and see if she was going to be one of them. But either way, man, I hope they get justice. I hope this thing doesn't drag out. Me personally, I think it won't make 3 weeks. You guys in the comment section can say, you know, how long you think it's going to be. But I mean, I hope she does get justice, because I mean, to have somebody prey on you and do you in such a way, like you not only just took the girl's life, you just desecrated her body, knowing that she has family members and people that care about her, and this is going to make the news. A lot of people do crazy things and they're obsessed with killers and vile stuff in society, and they want to be a part of it. And they should be treated for what they do in the vile, sick, sadistic ways that they do it. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be keeping up with this. Maybe they'll start the trial tomorrow. Maybe they won't. But either way, we'll be on top of this. Justice for Sade Robinson and family. I'm out.